What is your view on banning social media for kids as a politician and as a parent?
Well, as a parent, I share the same concerns as many parents. Too much screen time, highly addictive algorithms. I always get worried when my kids are more interested in their screen than they are interested in what Dad has to say. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But why are you guys laughing at that? But we're doing some research right now as a team and as a caucus. We're a caucus filled of parents. We're very worried about protecting our kids in the modern world. So I'm glad that Mr. Canoe has started the conversation, and as we develop our thinking on it, we'll be sharing it with you. Thank you.
First, it was David McKenzie who was asking the Liberals to protect their children online. Now, it seems that Pierre Poilievre is also open to social media bans. Welcome to the Political Orphans. I'm your host, Nico Lagan. My apologies, we are 8 minutes late. I got a late cancellation 10 minutes before the show, and I was struggling to put it all together because the show I was supposed to have is not happening. So, my apologies, first and foremost. Good friends of the show, Jason Lavigne, is not going to join us. So if you're here to see him, well, you're shit out of luck. You're stuck with the Frenchie from Montreal. But we got something to talk about. There's something I wasn't aware of. I just played the video, and don't worry, I will play it again. But before I do, thank you for your patience. And I gotta start by taking a few comments just because I saw them as I came in here. Faith and I Hope Canada is saying, first time I made it for a live and he's late. Zing. Yeah, my apologies. Hopefully you understand. You understand. I was ready to go until 10 minutes ago. But thank you for being here live. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be one of those shows that we're going to interact with each other a lot more. Although recently we've been doing at least half an hour show. I think it's going to be a bit more than that today, but not a big deal. It's a Thursday. We normally can take them easier. It's like our Friday. At least it's my Friday since there's no show on Friday and Saturday. Trevor Benson is saying, lol, all good. I'm sure it's still gonna be a good show. Well, isn't it always? I'm kind of biased, but isn't it always good shows? Plus, I got you guys to talk to, so it always makes for good shows. It always makes for good shows. There was a comment. Where did it go? Oh, right here. Carmela Wayne is saying, last time this happened, the show was canceled. Probably YouTube doesn't want us talking about Alberta independence. Yeah. I wanted to talk about it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen today, although I do have a video. Yeah, I have it in my notes here. I do have a video that was just released with Daniel Smith. I didn't even listen to it. I wanted to listen to it with Jason Lavigne to get both of our reactions at the same time, but I'm going to play it. We got time. Got plenty of time to play it. Hold on. There was another one. I always watch it later. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, Faith. It's a good thing you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We take a lot of shows. And here you go. This is the message I was looking for, because I thought I've addressed it before, but I only talked about it once. Let's talk about it again. Ivermectin is asking, Wilf, did you ever get an answer on Rob? Where did he go? I don't have that much information, as in I'm not going to share his personal life, but a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, Rob and I had a conversation, and he works like 2 or 3 jobs already, and this was literally taking all of his evenings because he works on Saturday, Sunday, so he was never able to do anything. So he took what we call a hiatus, and he is no longer with the show. That's pretty much it. So hopefully that answers your question. There's no animosity between Rob and I. We've spoken a few times. We texted a few times since then. It's at least it's like any breakup. It's supposed to be amicable, but it was amicable, although for some it's hard to believe. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. It really just is that it's very, very, very time consuming to do this, and he could no longer afford the time, if that makes sense. Again, I don't want to speak I don't want to speak for him. I should have asked that he record a video explaining what happened, but yeah, that's as much as I can give you right now. So hopefully that answers your question. That being said, let's jump into the video that I was playing earlier, because this is definitely, I was looking for some type of answer from Pierre Poilievre, because if you're here, I believe yesterday I was talking about this, where David McKenzie, Conservative MP, came out last week saying that he was waiting, the organization he also represents or talks for or talks about is hoping for comprehensive legislation that would keep our youth safe online. That's a Conservative MP saying that. And now it turns out that I found a video this week, I found a video today of Pierre Poilievre taking a question from a reporter about social media bans. And what's funny about this, and the reason I'm showing it, it's not because you're going to be surprised by this, because if you've been paying attention to politics over the past few years, you know, or you're starting to realize that Pierre Poilievre is just a liberal. But what's interesting is that it's starting to be shared by conservative heads, by conservative content creators, and this is the person that shared this is one of them. So let's play the video and let's talk about it afterwards.
You announced over the weekend that Manitoba would be banning the use of social media and AI chatbots for youth. Minister Miller has said this is something that the government is seriously considering. What is your view on banning social media for kids as a politician and as a parent?
Well, as a parent, I share the same concerns as many parents. Too much screen time, highly addictive algorithms. I always get worried when my kids are more interested in their screen than they are interested in what Dad has to say. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But why are you guys laughing at that? But we're doing some research right now as a team and as a caucus. We're a caucus filled with parents. We're very worried about protecting our kids in the modern world. So I'm glad that Mr. Canoe has started the conversation, and as we develop our thinking on it, we'll be sharing it with you. Thank you.
You announced over the weekend.
Oof. I don't know for you, but that was not very conservative of him. First, let's talk about the first thing. He shares the same concerns. What concerns? What concerns does he share? Because that's something that he's very good at, never answering a question. He says a lot of words, but they don't mean much unless you're really paying attention to what he's saying. He shares the same concerns. So the same concerns as what? That it is a responsibility of our government to help keep our children safe online by banning it for them and having us have to give our government approved ID in order to access our social media. He also said that his children are more interested in their screens than they are of him. Wow, that's not surprising. I could have told you that, bro. Nobody cares. You're useless, and probably your kids know as well. Did you notice that when he said that, he looked behind, he's like, oh, were you guys laughing? Nobody was laughing. Did you guys notice that? He always does that. If you notice, he's always trying to sound funny, to sound cool. And yet none of his MPs behind him were actually laughing when he said that. He also mentioned that he welcomes the conversation and his team is doing some research. Did not answer the question whatsoever outside of making it sound like he is in support of a social media ban. This is where we're at. The liberals, at least, at least they're not hiding it anymore. At least the conservatives are not hiding the fact that they're liberals. because they're being pretty clear, although they're not answering the question. The fact that they're not answering the question is pretty clear. So what do you guys think? Actually, you know what? For the people out there in the audience that supports Pierre Poilievre, because no problem. I have no problems with you supporting Pierre Poilievre. I don't have any problems with people supporting Mark Carney. But I do want to know what your thoughts are. As a conservative, as in a big C conservative, as somebody that supports the Conservative Party, if they exist here in the audience, what do you think of Pierre Poilievre's message? Are you good with social media bans? Because the woman that shared this, and I'm sure you've heard of Brittany. She's a conservative, so-called conservative content creator. And even her is saying, Pierre Poilievre was asked whether he supports banning kids from social media. His response, ? He said he's going to review it with his team and figure it out where they land. Not exactly reassuring. At some point, the government needs to stop acting like it's responsible for raising kids. This, to me, is very, very interesting, because now we're starting to see massive conservative heads. Like, she is a massive conservative supporter. Like, she is always talking for Pierre Poilievre. And now this, which I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised, but at the same time, I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see people start to question, because this is problematic. Social media bans are not conservatives at all. Conservatives are supposed to be about freedom. They're not supposed to be about censorship. They're not supposed to be about taking your information in order to confirm who you are when you go online. This is not a conservative value whatsoever. So I ask you guys, do we have some conservatives in the House that are starting to wonder what's happening here? Because if Brittany is wondering, that's a good sign, if you ask me. This is a very good sign. I'm happy to see this. I'm very happy to see this. So before we go to the next topic, which is a video from Daniel Smith that I wanted to show Jason Lavigne, I'm going to take some of your comments. So instead of waiting till the second half of the show, we're going to start talking right now. So let me see what you guys have to say. When did we start this? Around 10 after 10. Shelly Rogers is saying, I thought I was doing something wrong. No, it was me. It was me. I'm often the problem. You can ask my wife. She'll tell you. Jerry Conspiracy. That's a great name, by the way. Jerry Conspiracy. That's great. Wilf. Oh, well, if red and blue are bad, then let's abolish the Canadian federal government. Yeah, can agree with that. I can agree with that. I had somebody comment on one of my videos, I think it was yesterday, saying that maybe the answer to our problems is the government collapse. I think he would agree with you. And I'm not in disagreement either. Maybe that is what we need. One thing I always say, though, one thing that's for sure is that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it would definitely get worse, at least for the time being, if the government collapsed. But it would be, I believe, at least for myself, I believe that this would be the start of a good thing. Trevor Benson is asking, did anyone else see that video of the 9-year-old I Cry for Canada? 9-year-old I Cry for Canada. When, can you tell me, can you give me more information? Or if you have a link, I would love to see it. If you have a link, Trevor, send it to info@thepoliticalorphans.com. I will take it and I will play it, because it's one of those days. It is definitely one of those days. So Lorena Moreno is saying, I just found this channel. Well, welcome. Welcome. Normally I'm a lot more prepared than this, but we had a guest drop out last minute and my show was all around the topics that him and I wanted to talk about. So there's going to be a lot of improvisation tonight, but you are welcome to comment. Let us know what you think. Wildflower is saying, I'm just going to call you Wildflower instead of Wild 1957 Flower, if you don't mind. Mr. Albertan's home was burned down today. He was a very strong advocate for Alberta independence. Yeah, I know the guy. I honestly thought that he wasn't real. I thought that I saw some videos of him. I thought he was AI. I don't know why. He reminded me of the El Saki guy. Do you know the El Saki for the beer? Like the older guy that's just holding a beer for the El Saki commercials. That's what he reminded me of. I thought he was fake, but that's unfortunate for Mr. Alberta. Very unfortunate. Wonder what happened. Do you know? Do you have any details as to what happened, Wildflower? If so, just drop them in the comments. I'm curious to. I haven't heard about that until now. Ivermectin is saying, imagine entering the battle dome and trying to absorb so many facts in such a short time. It's going to be difficult for them. I'm 20 years deep in acceptance of truth. You know, Ivermectin, I get your point. I fully understand that once you open your eyes, it's a massive floodgate of information. But it's information that is needed because if you remember 20 years ago, the same thing happened to you. When you first started seeing things for what they were, you started seeing everything around you differently. So it was also a floodgate for you. And I think that's part of the process. I think that's totally normal that once you start to realize what's going on, everything hits you at once and it's hard to deal with. But that is the only way through. Because once you're open to this, once you're open to questioning, you see problems everywhere. But at the same time, you see good everywhere. You see that you're not alone because there's a lot of people that thinks like you. So that's a good thing. And at the same time, ivermectin, the other thing to remember is one of the reasons I do this show, one of the reasons I'm hoping you guys are here is because I want those people to have a place to go. I want those people to have a place of answers when they do start looking, because it's just a matter of time. All it needs for more Canadians to wake up is for things to get worse. It's going to get worse. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to have to get worse before it gets better. But we need to be ready for them when they do wake up, because they're going to wake up at a very tough time. And as you said, absorb so many facts at once in such a short time is not going to be easy, but it never is. But that's why we need to be ready for them. Wilf is saying, isn't anything that surprises me on any Canadian political party. Yeah, I'm right there. I'm absolutely right there with you. Shit Wrangler. Great name, by the way. Shit Wrangler. It's really good. Ban social media. Ban Freemasonry. Too much meetings in secret times. That's interesting. What do you think about the Freemasons? Do you think they rule the world? Is that what you think of them? And I'm asking because I was never part of them, but I had considered applying for them years and years and years ago before I became a Christian. But I'd be curious for the people out there, what do you guys think about the Freemasons? Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comment sections what you guys think of the Freemasons, because that's definitely an interesting topic. Very, very interesting topic. Let me see here. Pure Sangi. Pure Sangi is saying, what a coward. Yeah, I think you're talking about Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, but he does that all the time. When's the last time you actually really saw him take a stand for anything that was worth taking? And at least he was honest in his answer, because he said that he needed to talk to his team, because it's pretty obvious that man is not able to take a decision for himself. That's probably why when he does podcasts, his wife is there, because he needs direction. And same thing goes with his party, it seems like, when there's hard conversations to be had, he needs to make sure that his team tells him what to think. So yeah, he is a coward. That's always the first, that is always the number one thing I reproach that guy, is that he is definitely a coward that will not take a stance on anything. Marlene Smith is saying, it's not the government's responsibility to tell me how to raise my kids. None of their damn business or grandkids. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It is not the responsibility of governments to tell us how to live our lives. And one thing we have to remember is that they work for us, not the other way around. The government should be scared of the people. The people shouldn't be scared of their governments. They should be scared of us. We are more than them, and they work for us. We have forgotten that. Maybe it's time to remind Canadians who's really in power here. We are a lot more than they are. So it is just in the same way as it is not the government's responsibility to raise our children, it is our responsibility to be accountable for allowing them to control us. Because we choose to say yes to their policies, even though we know in our hearts that they are wrong, that they are immoral. That is on us. We choose to let them. Because if we simply stood up and said enough, what are they going to do? They can't take us all down. They can't. It's just a matter of organizing. It's just a matter of us standing up for ourselves, our rights, and our country. Serena is saying, yes, Nico, 100%. Brittany is a very strong supporter of Pierre Poilievre. Oh, I know. I don't know her personally. I've never recorded content with her. I follow her because I follow a lot of content creators, no matter if I agree with them or not. It's irrelevant. I just follow them because sometimes I fall on stories like this that I did not know. So I follow a lot of people that create content, though. But she is definitely a massive Pierre Poilievre supporter, and is the first time I see a post from her that actually criticizes him. And that to me is very, very indicative of the moment in which we live right now. Because no matter where, here's a test for you guys. I did it, I believe it was last year during the elections, but I got quite a few friends in the US. We spent a lot of time, my wife and I, down south, like Arizona, Texas, Alabama, North Carolina. And we spent a lot of time in Alabama. We have a trailer, like we have an RRV is down there. And during the last election, I asked my buddy, which is a massive, massive Republican, and I asked him, played some videos of Pierre Poilievre, and I didn't tell him the party he represented. And I just asked him, I'm like, which party do you think that guy represents? And he's like, that guy's definitely a Democrat. And I told him he was a conservative, and he lost his mind. Like, that blew his mind. And, you know, I know it was just a matter of time before people start seeing this, but there's a difference between seeing what's going on and having the balls to talk about it. Because I guarantee you, and this is just my opinion, but I guarantee you that the big conservative talk heads out there, speaking heads out there, the big content creators that make a killing promoting Pierre Poilievre on all their social media platforms, I guarantee you that they know that something's not right. They know, but they just don't have the balls to start talking the truth, to stop walking that political line. They just don't have the balls to do it because they know what it's going to cost us. It's going to cost them, my apologies, if overnight they just start criticizing Pierre Poilievre. Because there's a good reason why I wanted to show that social media video of Pierre Poilievre, because he literally said that an NDP leader, the wokest of the woke, Wab Kinew, that it was a good thing. Like, he was happy that he opened the conversation to social media bans. Like, that's just insanity. A so-called conservative leader is saying that he wants to have the conversation with the woke of the woke, wub wub canoe from the NDP party. It's absolute nonsense. So it's going to become harder and harder for those conservative talkheads to support him without looking like idiots. Sorry to say, but I don't like to call people names, but it's going to be harder and harder for them to back a guy that is in favor of a social media ban. And maybe during that video, he didn't seem in favor, but if you listen to what he's saying, his job was just not to say that social media bans are bad. He didn't say they were good, but he did say that he was open to the idea. He was welcoming the conversation. And one of his MPs, David McKenzie, has openly asked in the House of Commons that the Liberals do more to protect our children. So you know that conservatives are coming out. It's pretty evident that conservatives are coming out supporting the social media ban. It's going to be a hard one for the talkheads out there, the so-called conservative talkheads, to be speaking, to be defending those people. So I'm happy to see Brittany actually start questioning it. Hopefully she continues doing it, because we need people to wake up, to really wake up to what's coming. Guido Guido Sidor. To the topic of the other episodes, this is the new dictatorship in Canada. The military is made up politicians and foreign people. As well, why go after the guns? It's always the same story, man. If you look at history, it's always the same thing. They cannot censor you. They cannot take your freedoms away if you still have guns. That's why they need to go after guns, so that you don't have weapons to defend yourself. And look at what's going on right now. You have, our economy is collapsing. It's only going to get worse. And people are so focused on the economy, the state of the economy. And I understand, I'm not saying that they're wrong to be focused on that, because this is the difference between eating and not being able to put food on the table. So I get it. I fully understand why people are very, very focused on the economy. But do you think it's a coincidence that the economy is crumbling because of terrible policies? Not because we don't have the natural resources. We have the third largest oil supply in the world. We have some of the biggest forests in the woods. We have some of the rarer minerals on this planet. We are the #1 producer of hydroelectricity in the world. We have all the natural resources in the world. We should be rich like Saudi Arabia, but because of terrible government policies, we are destroying ourselves. Do you think it's a coincidence that at the same time as our own destruction is happening, they're censoring us, they're passing bills to censor us, they're trying to pass laws to censor us, and they're taking our guns at the same time? It's not a coincidence. They're making sure that we are so distracted by trying to put food on the table that they know we won't be paying attention to what they're actually doing. This is always the thing you should be asking yourself. At least this is what I ask myself all the time, is when I look at mainstream media and I see what they're talking about, I always try to find what's the story they're hiding. There's always a reason why. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Trump or not, doesn't matter. But he was going down in the polls. What's happening with Iran is destroying his base. I follow a lot of big media heads in the US. Like, I've had the chance to record content with a lot of the big names in the US, and even massive Trumpists are questioning Trump over Iran. And then this week, there's another attempt on his life, and now he's gonna shoot up in the polls again. Now they're not talking about Iran. They're not talking about Epstein files. Again, do you think that's a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. Am I saying he did it on purpose or not? That's not what I'm saying necessarily. I don't know. But if you pay attention, and it's not just Trump, it's everywhere in politics, when something's going really bad in a country, it seems like there's always some interesting distractions to kind of take us away from what's really going on. And you just look at what's going on in Canada. It's orchestrated. This is controlled decline, what we're seeing in Canada. So if that's the story that we see, why are they doing it? That's the question we should be asking, right? Why do they want us so distracted on the economy? Because they're trying to take our guns away. They're trying to take our rights away. They're trying to take our freedoms away. They're trying to take our speech away. And by the time we wake up to that, it might be, it's never too late. So I'm not going to say it might be too late because that's incorrect. But times are going to be a lot harder. That's for damn sure. Jordan from the country is saying Canada needs to be disbanded and reformed as a republic where we have real rights and freedoms, not privileges granted by the government. I agree. I agree 1,000%. I agree. There's a lot of things that needs to happen in Canada for it to be better. And it starts at the same place, education. It always needs to start somewhere. And it starts with education. It starts with the hard conversations. So I agree with you, Jordan. I completely agree with you. Trevor is saying it's on the Canada Info YouTube. Nico, Canada Info YouTube, Nico. Yeah, I don't know what the Canada Info is. My apologies, man. I do not know what this is. Let me see here. I just want to make sure everything seems to be okay here. You guys want to confirm that the mic is working? Because Trevor said quite a few minutes ago that the microphone wasn't working. But I believe it's probably working, right? Yeah, I think so. Oh man, there's a lot of comments. I believe so. It's always interesting how we have problems on this channel. It's probably all a coincidence, right? Of course it's a coincidence. So what do you guys want? 7:40, do we continue to take comments? Because man, I can take comments I could do this for hours. Just take your comments and have a conversation with you. And since we were supposed to have a completely different episode tonight, I'm very happy to take comments. It's Thursday. It's last day of the week, at least for me, until Sunday. So it's up to you guys. The first next comment that answers this question, we will do that. Do we continue to just take comments, or do you guys want to hear a 4-minute video of Daniel Smith speaking about Alberta independence? Your choice. The next commenter that will decide what we do. Do we continue taking comments as we're doing right now for another 19 minutes, or do we listen a video that I wanted Jason Lavigne to see? And there you go. You got your answer. Wildflower is saying a video. Hopefully it's good. I didn't even watch it. I did not even watch the video. I do that sometimes. It's rare, but it is the first time. So let's see it. Both. LOL. Too late, bro. Too late. Wildflower has decided for us all. So let's watch. Let me load this video here. So hopefully it's a good one, because as I said, I haven't watched it yet, but share this tab. There you go. Let's watch the video. This was posted literally probably about an hour ago.
many of these things, Alberta also has a separatist movement, which is not necessarily growing in size, but perhaps growing in visibility. There will be a likely referendum this fall on whether Alberta should become independent of Canada, which by all measures does not seem to be, would be successful. But there are questions about how this group has been cultivating relationships, not just in Alberta, but within the United States, for example, and certain members of the Trump administration, which you have sort of publicly said, called out, you want to see no political interference in Alberta's domestic politics. So where does this movement have legs, and what do you see happening in October?
Well, I would say relationships take work. And I think this is one of the interesting conversations I've been having, whether it was in Germany, Sweden, or now in the UK, is there have been these kinds of conversations that have happened in other jurisdictions as well. There's these conversations happening right now in the UK, actually.
And down in Texas, in the US, right? Yeah.
And you can always find reasons to find division, but you should also be trying to find reasons to be together. And that's, I think, the renewed spirit that Prime Minister Mark Carney and I have taken, is that why has the relationship become frayed? And the relationship became frayed, quite frankly, because we had a previous government that spent the last 10 years damaging our economy, attacking our values, telling us that we should keep our...
A previous government that destroyed our economy? A previous government that destroyed our economy. I don't know where she's been, but it's the same government, just the prime minister's different. Instead of being behind Justin Trudeau, he's in front of Justin Trudeau, but it's the same guy that was his economic advisor. So the same guy that's been destroying our economy for 6 years is just now the prime minister. So I'm not sure about what she's saying right now, that the previous government was destroying our economy. It's the same goddamn government that's been destroying our country that's still doing it. And I would argue that he's doing it even faster than Justin Trudeau did. As I said from the get-go, as soon as I saw that this guy was coming into politics, I knew that he was sent to finish what Trudeau started.
Oil and gas in the ground. And because we have a system of equalization payments and we overpay into Confederation, using that money to subsidize the rest of the country at the same time as choking off the supply. So that, you can imagine, creates a lot of tension. When anyone feels like their livelihood is at risk, that their investment's at risk, that they may not have a job, that their kids are moving away because they can't get a job, that there isn't opportunity to aspirationally buy a house and take care of your family and your community, those things cause tension. But when you can have all of those things, when you know that you've got a partnership where everybody is working towards ensuring that economies can thrive. And this is the role of our federal government. They have a trade and commerce power, which has been historically used to help us get our products to market. It was never supposed to be used to block off access. It was meant to be used to clear away access. And I think that that's the renewed approach that the Prime Minister and I are taking.
I don't know for you, but is she talking about the same Canada as we're living in right now? Is that not frustrating to you to hear Daniel Smith talk about Canada that way? Like it's better than it was? Do you guys see Canada in better shape than it was under Justin Trudeau? I don't know which country she thinks she's talking about right now, but the past year, he's been in power for 1 year now. Are you going to tell me that the country is on the better path right now than it was under Justin Trudeau? I don't know what she's smoking, but there's no way in hell that the country is doing better today than it was doing under Justin Trudeau. No way in hell.
We come from different political parties, so we have, I don't think we're going to have 100% agreement on 100% of the issues. But if you can agree on the big things and work through them, that aspirationally, I think, is what most Albertans want to see. So, yes.
Is that, for the Albertans out there, for the Albertans right now on the show, is Mark Carney doing the right thing for Alberta? Is that the impression that you guys are getting? What do you think about what Danielle Smith is saying right now? Because she's talking like Mark Carney's different from Justin Trudeau. Did you guys, we broke it down on this show. We did a deep dive on the MOU that Danielle Smith signed with Mark Carney. If you guys read it, if you haven't read it, go read it. It's not that long. It's a few pages long. It'll take you half an hour tops and it's done. But it is literally paperwork that is non-binding. Obviously, this is not legal. It's non-binding, but it shows interests. Like it shows what you're planning or what you're ready to do. Danielle Smith signed a piece of paper that was literally agreeing to the net zero WEF 2050 agenda. It is literally stipulated in there. They talk about carbon taxes. They talk about net zero 2050. Just go read the MOU and tell me if that woman is doing the best thing for Alberta, or is she doing the best thing for her? Because she's came out to say that she's a federalist. She's not a separatist. She's not an Albertan. She's a federalist. So for the Alberta people out there, tell me what you feel about this video, because there's only like 50 seconds left. I'm going to shut up now and let it go. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about this video.
There was a lot of frustration when the Liberal government, once again, after 10 years, won another government. And so the frustration spilled over with the independence movement getting as high as 40% approval in opinion polls. But it's come down to around 30%. And I think my job is to demonstrate that Canada can work, to identify in a real way the issues that are causing tension, and then to find ways to work through them. And I think that the Prime Minister has the same spirit. So I haven't managed to persuade everyone yet, but I am going to continue to work on it.
Well, you've got a couple months to go. Thank you so much.
Wow. What do you guys think about this? Seems like every time I listen to her speak, I am more disappointed than I was the last time I heard her speak. She's definitely a federalist. She definitely is not interested in Alberta independence, that's for sure. But I'm just a French guy from Montreal, so what the hell do I know, right? What do you guys think for the Alberta people out there? What do you think about this this video? Because we started about that video was about 5 minutes long. I'm just trying to go back. There you go. So this is where we were. Let me see. I want to see what were the first comments about this. Ivermectin. If you want to know if a female politician you're looking at is WEF, they rarely wash their hair and also rarely brush it. I don't know if I would go that far, but one thing I've noticed from that video is she doesn't look very healthy. Like, she doesn't look very good in that video. Like, she's been having a rough time, it seems like. Wildflower, very telling, right? Yeah, no shit, it's very telling. Wilf is saying, Smith, the old chameleon, shines through again. Yeah, she definitely is not what people expected, that's for sure. Trevor is saying, knows how to work a crowd. Yeah, that she does. She is not a stupid individual, that's for damn sure. She is not stupid at all. That's a good question, Claire, by the way. I was asking myself the same question because I made sure I was going to mention it, and I made sure before I opened my mouth, but the Chatham House is the Royal Institute of International Affairs. It's a British think tank based in London. So I'm not sure why she was there. I'm not sure if this video was recorded here in Canada or it was in London, but I think it was in the UK, because if you remember, she did mention something about an independence movement in the UK, and I believe that she said like here in the UK. So chances are they recorded it over there. Yeah, but that's a good question. I was wondering the same thing. Why is she over there? Bacon Slayer is saying the transition into a crisis is triggered when society reaches a breaking point of structural paralysis. By this point, trust in institution has already been eroded. Oh, that's actually really well written. Let me read that again. That was actually, that's very good. The transition into a crisis is triggered when a society reaches a breaking point of structural paralysis. By this point, trust in institutions have already been eroded. Wow, that is very well said. I agree with you. I also think that it is the perfect time for a revolution. Bacon Slayer. Oh, he continued. Oh, by this point, trust in institutions have already been eroded, and the population is in a stage of high anxiety and insecurity. Yeah, that is correct. That is absolutely correct, and that's exactly where we are right now. Wild 1957 Flower, isn't Chatham House based out of London, ground zero for the globalists? Yes. It is a British think tank based in London. You are absolutely right. Sheridan is saying that Smith is delusional. AB negative is saying she's WAF. Yeah, well, she is definitely not an Albertan separatist. That's for damn sure. The PM, and I'm talking. Yeah, she's really Team Carney too, eh? I guess that she's been spending a lot of time with Doughboy Ford. They're cheerleading for the little man very hard. Never trust a floor crosser. Ain't that the truth? Serena saying, there's a lot that Daniel Smith says that leaves me scratching my head. I'm from Alberta and do not pay attention to her. Yeah, she's very good at saying the right thing in the moment. But she does seem, I don't remember, there's somebody, I think it was Trevor, that called her a chameleon. And yeah, or was it Trevor or was it Wolf? Either or, I think. But somebody called her a chameleon, and I agree with that. I agree with that statement, absolutely. XX Natex 6825 is saying, ils sont tous achetés. That's some good old French to say they're all bought off, and I agree. I completely agree with you, man. The problem is that they don't work for us, isn't it? They definitely do not work for us. Jennifer saying, from Alberta, hard no. Joyce Himmer, no. Wildflower, no way. Pearl Sangi, nope. Cap MC Gunty, I want to vomit. Oh, Megunty, my apologies. Cap Megunty, I want to vomit every time she says a sovereign Alberta. Squirrel Nuts, Smith is a keynote speaker on Monday at a Christian event in Red Deer. Ivermectin, her oil feels destroyed. She's fucking trash. Bacon Slayer, they're all on it. They're all in on it. It's insane, right? Claire's saying Carney isn't working for Alberta, and I'm not from there. Yeah, I'm not from there either, and I can guarantee you he is not working for Alberta, and neither is Daniel Smith. Sheridan is saying Smith's is Mark Carney's new girlfriend. She's willing to make life more expensive for Albertans to kiss up to Carney. You know, the more that I see her interact on a federal level, the more I realize that she definitely wants to be PM. It seems that she's very interested in becoming prime minister. And just like Pierre Poilievre, I think they're ready to let Canada burn in order to rule over it, to rule over the ashes. So it definitely is not. I don't think there's any Albertans out there that thinks that Danielle Smith is an Albertan independent. Like, she does not want Alberta to separate. It's pretty clear now. Let me see what you guys, we still have a few minutes. We still have a couple minutes, so let's take a couple. Michel Canville. Oh, Michel Canville. Pierre Poilievre isn't a liberal. It's sad that media is so scared and desperate. They have to spread rumor and lies and... What? Are you sure this isn't synthetic content edited? Hey, so Pierre Poilievre is definitely a liberal. That there's no doubt. And if you don't think that Pierre Poilievre isn't a liberal, you definitely don't understand the Overton window. You don't understand politics. Even the big, who is she? What was her name? Jasmine Lane, in an interview recently, she even said that the conservatives are liberals. And she's a massive big C conservative. But there's no doubt, politically speaking, Pierre Poilievre is definitely a liberal. He's not a conservative. The party's called the conservative, but he's not a conservative. Think about one of the most conservative values that you can have. Abortion. This is one of the biggest things. You want to know if somebody's conservative? Ask them their views on abortion. If they are not pro-life, they're not conservatives. That is the number one thing that you can use to segregate more liberal people compared to more conservative people. Then you can start talking about big government. Pierre Poilievre is not selling the idea to reduce government. Yet one of the most conservative values that you can have is small government. The biggest difference between, and I'm not talking political parties here, I'm talking political ideologies. The biggest difference between the liberal mindset and the conservative mindset is the way policies or laws are enforced. In a liberal country, the government, which is normally a big government, will do what we call top-down policying. They will decide what is best for you, and they will push it down. And if you do not do what they say, there will be consequences. The advantage of such a system is that you can impact change extremely fast in a society because you are forcing people into submission. If you look at the more conservative views, you want to have a very small government and you want the individual to have power. You want to have good morals citizen that you know will do the right thing because you trust the individual to have values, to have morals that they will live by. Unfortunately, the great thing about such a system is that the individual has a lot of freedoms in order to do the right thing because you trust the individuals to do the right thing. In a liberal system, you don't trust the individual to know better, so you need to force them into submission. You need to force your will on them. The problem with a more conservative approach is that because you trust the individual, it will take more time for a society to change because everything starts at the individual level. So, Michel, to go back to what you were saying, Pierre Poilievre is a liberal. He is 100% a liberal. He does not believe in small governments. He believes in big government pushing down legislation to his people. That's a fact. That's what he is. If you look, I would suggest that you look into the Overton window. Overton window just shows where the politics are situated right now, and every single party in Canada outside of the PPC is on the left spectrum of politics. The PPC is more libertarian. It's more somewhere in the middle. But why do you think everybody believes that the PPC are extreme right? Because technically, if all the political parties are on the left, are all in the left spectrum of politics, anything that is right of left, right of them, is considered extreme. So the liberals are right in the middle of liberals. The NDP are left of them, the Green as well. But the conservative are just right of the liberal. But if you change some of the policies that Pierre Poilievre is pushing, and you would have Mark Carney say that, or vice versa, it'd be the same thing. There's no difference. I'm telling you, I put you to the test. Find somebody, especially in the US or in Europe, that have no idea who Pierre Poilievre is. Have them listen to his policies and ask them, if that guy's a conservative, what party do you think he represents? I guarantee you, they're going to tell you that he's a liberal. He's somewhere on the left, because he is. You can't be fooled by the name of the political party. That does not make him a conservative. Thank you for the comment, though, Michelle. Hopefully you understand I'm not ripping into you. I just really enjoy taking comments that disagrees with me, because this is how we have those conversations. And I totally agree that right now it's easy. It's a lot easier for me to kind of go after your comment because I'm the only one with a microphone, but this is going to change. Starting next week, over the weekend, I will configure that beautiful piece of equipment that you guys bought here. The Rodecaster Pro 2. Thank you again for all your donations for that awesome piece of equipment. I haven't had time to really play with it that much, but over the weekend, I'm going to set it up so that starting next week, I'm going to be able to take your calls. So instead of me being the only one with a microphone, you guys will be able to give me a call. I will get you live on the show. I'll drop some links. It's super easy. It's all done over the internet. And you guys are going to be able to call. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to having voice-to-voice conversations with you guys starting hopefully on Monday. I'm going to test it all over the weekend. Hopefully there's no issues. But next week, we're starting this. It is 7 p.m. It is 8 p.m. My apologies, 8:05. We're 5 minutes over. But considering that I started almost 10 minutes late, it's all good. So we are Thursday. Tomorrow we're off. Saturday we're off. But we are going to be back on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But before I let you go, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to share the stream. Make sure to comment, even if you're listening to this later on once it's recorded. We want to hear. I don't know why I say we want. I want to hear from you. So leave a comment. But above all, come back, catch the show live, come interact with us. So until then, until Sunday, I wish you a great weekend, and I'll see you then. Peace.